Hey everybody. Um, I just wanted to make this video, kind of give you an update of everything that happened. I'm sure you'll see my video from my live stream, as well as the videos and pictures that I will upload later. Last night was a game changer for everyone here. The whole world was watching us last night as we protested peacefully. We had independent news media out there, a couple of different news media sites, as well as some mainstream media that came in, periodically trying to get some pictures of the scene. Just like I said, last night was really a game changer for this whole movement. If you go to my Facebook page, Alejandro Todd, or you go to my Instagram, alex.todd95, you'll see that later when I upload some of the videos and photos, you'll see that we were able to stand unified as a group, and that, like, even though there were cops kind of driving around, there were a couple of fire trucks trying to use scare tactics with lights, trying to disperse us. But because they couldn't get us to disperse, they really had no choice but to leave us alone. And for those of you that don't know where I'm at right now, I'm in Minneapolis. I live here now. I was out at the site where George Floyd died last night. That was where I decided to go protest. Thinking that last night was going to be really bad. I was praying and hoping and scared, as was a lot of my family and my friends. They were afraid, not only for me, but for everybody that's out here trying to protest peacefully by, pushing that movement that we're trying to do this right. We're trying to do this right by George Floyd's family. We're trying to do exactly what they want. They want us to be peaceful when we protested, and last night we were able to prove to Governor Walz that, we don't need a curfew. We don't need police coming around and trying to break us up protesting peacefully, because that's exactly what we did last night. Yeah, there was, we had our moments. There was a fight broke out because somebody was doing something wrong, and his crew checked him. His crew checked him. Everybody checked him. They started recording, pulled their phones out, went to intervene. I mean, it was nice to see, but like as soon as the violence broke out, myself and some other medics were, and some of the locals and the guy's friend were trying to break it up. They were stepping in between the assailants and whoever was trying to fight. Medics were trying to build a wall. We were all getting shoved around. Like it almost got really ugly for a while. I'll upload some of the video a bit later. You'll kind of see how chaotic it was for a minute. There was a period of time where we really could have lost the movement that we were trying to promote and move, trying to push on to the rest of the world. As we're in Minneapolis, as we're watching the rest of the world burn, cop cars and buildings and businesses, last night was really a turning point for us. I have a feeling that, that as we look back on this, as one of my friends said, as we look back on this, this will be a massive turning point. This will be a fulcrum point in changing history, and I'm just grateful to be a part of that. I'm, out here as a medic trying to make sure everybody's safe, and that's what we did last night. We patrolled the neighborhoods. We started doing, we started walking the blocks to watch for cops, as well as white supremacists that were supposedly in the area. We as medics were going around making sure we had a safe neighborhood that we could practice peacefully, protesting in. It was really amazing. Not only did we have medics as well as leaders of the community that had come out and spoken earlier this week, but we also had like Neighborhood Watch come out and kind of like join us in the protests. We had a perimeter set up. We had civilian perimeter. They were keeping an eye and an ear on all the police scanners in the area. We were well organized last night. We had down at the site of George Floyd, we started building barricades in case police and military did come. But it was so peaceful, you know, that we didn't have any problems aside from the one fight that kind of broke out. You know, as soon as that was squashed, we all came back together as a group, as one people. You know, we locked arms, as you'll see in one of my videos and my live streams later. You know, we spoke to each other, you know, preaching peace, unity. You know, we don't need this hate, stuff like that. You know, we locked arms in prayer, and it was absolutely the most powerful thing that I had ever seen in my life. Like, trying to make a difference here in this world as we are today, burning shit. Like, yeah, that'll get your message across. I mean, you're gonna get publicity and shit like that. But you know, last night was the real deal. Last night was just beyond amazing how we came together. You know, we allowed each other to speak. We took a knee, and then we all decided to sit in the circle in the middle of the intersection. You know, and we took turns listening. We took turns listening to each other. We had some poems said. We had, you know, people teaching history, you know, about African gods and stuff like that. You know, feminine divine energy, masculine divine energy. We had speakers on, like, hope, you know, learning to basically unlearn everything that we were taught, you know, growing up. You know, that it isn't always about just brute strength masculinity. Sometimes we need to let our emotions run loose, you know, let the emotion out, let it show for the world to see, you know, that, you know, we're strong. We're not weak. We're not weak individuals when we stand together, you know. I saw all walks of life, media included. Everybody was out there. And it was peaceful. That was the biggest thing. It was peaceful. You couldn't divide us up. You know, there were a few times when sirens went off and people were trying to get ready to scram, and then, you know, we just said, hey, sit down, come back down. You know, they're not gonna come at us if we're being peaceful, if we're sitting down, we're not doing anything. And so that's what we did. We just stayed sitting, stayed talking. Some of us took naps, you know, kind of taking turns watching the neighborhood, you know, watching our sixes and all that, checking up on each other, handing out water, handing out snacks, you know, making sure each other was taken care of. If we were cold, somebody passed a blanket or something like that. You know, it was the camaraderie that I felt. You know, I had never experienced something like that. And to know that here at Ground Zero, that we as a people, as a nation, you know, as Americans, first and foremost, we're all Americans. To know that we were able to protest peacefully last night, to know that we were able to perform the one thing that the world has been trying to do for years since Dr. Martin Luther King. It was accomplished last night. We fucking did it, dude. We fucking made it. We made it from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. without being disturbed by one bit of police. We had media come through every once in a while, taking pictures, you know, interviewing some of our people there, some of the medics. Independent news media sites were coming around, recording the entire night. The entire night. There was not a bit of it missed. It was really amazing. We checked each other. You know, we stopped each other from, you know, making it about us. We made it about George Floyd's family, you know, what they wanted, their wishes, and, you know, trying to get our message across, both to Governor Walz and the world. We're trying to do this peacefully out here, you know. We can protest and we can get our voices heard, but we can also do it peacefully. There doesn't need to be violence. There doesn't need to be rioting and looting. as was proved last night. You know, last night was the first night all week that I didn't even open up my pouch to pull any sort of medical supplies out for anybody. I didn't have to, you know. Granted, there were reports of fire, so we had some medics go out and, you know, check up on those to see if people were hurt or if they needed medical attention. But overall, the message was very, very clear. And I hope that Governor Walz and, you know, the state attorney general hear this message. Hey, you know, we don't need this curfew. We don't need any of the military. We don't need police to come around and check us as we protest, because we can do it peacefully. And that's just kind of what we're trying to tell the world here, you know. I'm out here at Ground Zero, and if we can do it out here at Ground Zero, I know the rest of the world can protest, do whatever they need to do in the same manner. You know, this